I saw a speech last week delivered on the Senate floor that had me pausing for a second because I didn't exactly know where it was going. And the only thing, I'm going to show you the clip in a second. Here's what you need to know. The guy you're about to see is the majority whip. His name is John Barrasso. He's a Republican senator from Wyoming. Even though he's one of the Republican leaders, he's the whip. His job is to make sure the Republicans are in line to vote the way Republicans want you to vote on any given policy. But I'll be honest, Barrasso doesn't get a lot of face time in the media. He doesn't do a ton of public interviews. He's not on Fox News very much, as far as I can tell. So it's not often you see this guy, but he is a high-ranking Republican senator. And basically, Barrasso was on the Senate floor speaking out against the No Kings rallies. And I hope you went to one over the weekend if you were able to. But you may have heard this by now. Before those rallies, Republican leaders like Trump and Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, they were all saying, oh, of course, these are not just regular people going to protest, because surely there are not millions of Americans who dislike us. No, they were saying they're all paid protesters, like George Soros paid for all of them. They're all, astroturfing. So this is basically what Barrasso was saying on the Senate floor, that these are not real protests. It's all fake. It's all extremists. It's Antifa or something like that. But let me play you the clip. And I want you to pay attention because he's going to say something that's a little strange and it kind of comes out of nowhere.
All these rallies are going to be led by the far left activists, and all will be calling on the Democrats to keep the government closed. And the Democrats in this body are beholden to every single one of these far-left activist groups like, quote, #ResistTrump and American Atheists.
Really? I know American Atheists, and I had no idea they were running the show. I didn't know they had that kind of power. That's news to me because that's not true. Breaking news, Republicans lie. So, first of all, American Atheists is not a far left group. They are not leading the rallies. They did not lead the rallies. And more than anything, I promise you, the Democratic Party is not beholden to American Atheists because the Democratic Party doesn't like to acknowledge that atheists exist. Like, I wish we had that kind of political power. We do not. But here's what I think happened. If you go to the website for the No Kings rally, here's one of the things you would see. They have the about page. What are these rallies about? And at the very bottom, check this out. Here's their mission statement. Because this country does not belong to kings, dictators, or tyrants, this is why they're rallying, because it doesn't belong to those. It belongs to we the people who care, who show up, and who fight for dignity, a life we can afford, and real opportunity. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. Cool. Yeah, I'm on board with all of that. And if you run a nonprofit group and you sign on to that statement, they had a page on their website for partners. And basically, these are just nonprofit groups that said, we support the No Kings rallies and what you're all doing. And that's literally it. Yeah, the ACLU backs you up. All these groups just back you up. That's it. They have nothing to do with the rallies. They are not running the show. They're not even donating money to be on this list. It's just a group of names. And look right there. You see the Freedom from Religion Foundation, FFRF is there. Americans United for Separation of Church and State is on here somewhere. And if you go through this list, again, tons of names. But I think Senator Barrasso or his staff, they must have been going through and they're just like, oh my God, look at that. American Atheists. And I think they just saw the word atheist and said, that sounds like a word Republicans will hate. Let's single them out specifically. That's why they didn't call out the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Not a lot of scary words in that one. They didn't even go after Planned Parenthood or the Sierra Club, which does environmental stuff. They were like, what's the scariest name we could do? #ResistTrump, which is the name of a group, actually, and American Atheists. But basically, what's he doing? He's fear-mongering. He's trying to scare Americans into thinking this is some kind of anti-American march. And atheist sounds like a word you use when you want to portray people as traitors, right? Honestly, I'm surprised the Satanic Temple missed a golden opportunity. They could have been partners, and they could have been singled out here. So anyway, I asked American Atheists what they thought of getting called out by Barrasso, and Nick Fish, the president of American Atheists, what he told me is that the simple presence of atheists to some of these people is viewed as anti-American, as un-American. And he said there's nothing more American than protesting our leaders and demanding better. And he actually issued a slightly longer statement a little bit later, portraying American atheists as radical or extreme in an attempt to discredit one of the largest popular mobilizations of opposition to authoritarian abuses in history is transparent, unvarnished white Christian nationalism. I happen to agree with all of that. And American Atheists made it clear they stood in solidarity with the 250 plus partners and the 2,500 plus rallies that happened in all 50 states. And just to tell you, I was out of town, so I couldn't be part of the rallies this past weekend, but I was at the first No Kings rally a couple of months ago, and there was nothing scary about it. It was joyous, it was peaceful, it was funny. If you saw the signs, I will even show you the sign I was using. This is the one I brought to that rally. Hey, Trump, nobody paid me to be here. I hate you for free. Which is true because I did not get my Soros check. The funniest thing about the rumor that everyone was paid to be there is that all you needed is one Republican to infiltrate the rallies, attend the rally, and show people their Soros check. No one did that for some reason. But I had a great time when I went a couple months ago. I hope there are more protests, and I hope I can attend them too. But the fact that Republican leaders were claiming these rallies were made up of unpatriotic traitors is absurd. These rallies, the attendees included scientists and moms who like wine and grandmas and college students and your neighbors and a lot of students. The fact that Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said, I think a few days ago, that the Democratic Party's main constituency is made up of, quote, Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals is not just bullshit. That is so much more radical than the harmless thing Hillary Clinton said back in 2016 when she said that many Trump voters are deplorable. And it turns out she was right. But it just tells you these people are so set on lying about the very people they're supposed to represent. That should tell you what the Republican Party has been reduced to these days. And they didn't have that far down to go. Those rallies are nonviolent protests against the administration's ongoing cruelty and the entire Republican Party's complicity. And to pretend otherwise is a lie. And these people wear their cross necklaces and cite Bible verses and just openly spread lies about the most obvious things happening. The problem here isn't that one senator lied about American atheists. It's that the entire party does this all the time. They refuse to admit the truth. They have to lie because the truth doesn't play into their narrative. To them, atheist isn't just some descriptor, it's a slur. It's meant to dehumanize everyone who went to those rallies. They think dissent is treason. They think reason is heresy. And that's why I think those rallies matter. They puncture that lie. You can't attend them and still come away from it thinking all of these people are paid agitators. You go there and you realize, oh, this is a lot more people than I thought in my community who are unhappy about what Republicans are doing. That's the power. I saw some liberals on social media complaining that the rallies were stupid because what's the point? What are the demands of the rally? What, you're just going there and walking around. Who cares? And the thing is, it excites people. It energizes people. It makes people more likely to show up for their local elections and hopefully show up for the midterm elections next year. There were people who showed up to the Women's March in January of 2017 who who decided, I'm so inspired by this rally that I'm going to run for office. And they did, and they won. That's the power of these rallies. It's not that the world changed after the rallies on Saturday. It's that hopefully so many more people got involved that there's a movement happening. And a lot of those people are going to be politically active, not just now, but for the foreseeable future. That's the power of doing things like that. And I think that Republicans know that, and I think it terrifies them. All right, I will stop there. What questions we have about this? To think Americans would listen to atheists. Listen, everyone should. Everyone should be listening to me right now. You should just make a comment underneath this video and explain to everybody why they should listen to me. So yeah, I mean, but to your point, the idea that if American Atheists did have something to do with putting together these rallies, that everyone would listen. You think Democrats are going to listen to atheists? They're not. I wish they did. I'm a veteran. I served my country. I'm a state director for American Atheists. He doesn't get to question my loyalty to this country and my love of country. Did he serve in the military? I actually don't know the answer to that last one. I'm assuming no, but I don't know for sure. But this is the thing, and this is why it's so offensive when Republicans say things like, there are no atheists in foxholes. Yes, there are. There are atheists who are willing to do really dangerous things because they love this country. That's true of Muslims. That's true of different religions as well. But Republicans make it sound like if you are not exactly like them, the stereotype of them, you're the enemy. And at some point, I feel like that's got to backfire on them. My sign said, I don't hate America, only what Drumpf is doing to it. Lovely sign. That's a great one. Thank you. The small conservative town I grew up in even had a rally. 70 people in about a 3,000 person town. I was so proud of them getting out there. That's fantastic. Like, I loved watching, if you watch Rachel Maddow on Monday, I think she spent like 25 minutes talking about rallies in every single state. Like, I didn't think she was going to go through every one of them, but she dedicated half her show to just showing you what was happening all over the country. And the point is, it doesn't matter if it was a small town or a huge city. People were coming out because it's something to visibly show you are pissed off. And if Republicans don't want to acknowledge you right now, fine, but then the votes are coming later, I hope. I mean, I wish people voted like this in 2024, but whatever. This is where we're at. Change it now for the better. Our little bright red town in the foothills had a rally. 4 corners in the middle of town, just about 100 people. I got kind of misty seeing it. I believe that, especially in small red towns, you wonder if you're the only person who is reasonable. And then you go to a thing like this and you realize, oh, wait, there's a lot of us. That's good. Not enough, but like, there's a lot of us. And we're just the ones who are willing to come out. How many more people are back home and they didn't come, but they still feel the same way?